Howdy, mister.
Oh, hi. I was beginning to think the place was deserted. Wonder if we might use a little of your water.
Help yourself.
Sure is a storm blowing up out there.
Could be.
Night coming on. I wouldn't want to be caught in it. I wonder if I could spend the night.
No, can't spend the night.
Be glad to stay in the barn.
No, this is private property owned by the stage line. I run it. And I say you can water your horse, fill your canteen, and leave.
Can't do any harm in the barn. I promise I won't disturb the chickens.
Now, I ain't fooling, mister. You get.
Put away that gun, Grandpa.
You get back in the house.
I'm sorry, I don't like to have a gun pulled on me.
This is still private property, and you're still trespassing.
Don't mind Grandpa. He thinks every man that comes by here is going to grab me and ride away.
Well, that's what you want, ain't it, Marty? That's it, ain't it?
Maybe. Maybe that's the only way I'll get away from here.
Now, listen, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I just want to bed down for the night. I'll be gone in the morning. Oh, here. And be careful with that thing. The next fellow might take you seriously.
Now, you get in that house. And stay away from him.
Hello.
Well, hello.
Wind's really blowing up a storm out there.
Sure is.
Picking up sand and dust.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm here instead of there. I want you to listen to me, young miss. I don't want any more trouble with your grandfather. So I think it would be best for all concerned if you just turned your little old self around and went back into the house, all right?
Grandpa's asleep in the chair. Does it every night after supper. Been watching him do it for 8 long years.
Yes, well, I still think it would be best if you,
I didn't come here to see you. I came here to get one of my books.
Oh?
I hide him in here from Grandpa.
Why do you hide them?
Because they're about places.
What kind of places?
I'll show you. This one is about New York. It's got pictures in it, too. Have you ever been to New York?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Well, what's it like?
Well, it's, big, noisy. It's got lots of people.
Yes, that's what I thought. Lots of people. I bet it's like all the big cities. Rome and London and Paris. My grandpa doesn't want me to know about those places. Watches over me all the time. Won't let me even talk to anyone. Especially boys. And men.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think you ought to blame your grandfather. I think most men feel protective when it comes to their daughters, granddaughters, especially when they're pretty, like you are.
My mother was pretty once.
I'm sure she was.
She hated it here. After my father died, she used to stand out in the yard and watch the stage go. She used to say, someday I'm going to get away from here and never come back.
And she left.
Yes. Some man came in on the stage one day, and he was handsome and rich. He promised to show Ma the whole world.
Think she'll ever come back?
No. I don't want her to.
Oh, really?
Well, she got what she wanted. She got away. I drew this of her just before she left.
It's very nice. You have talent. How long you been doing it?
Ever since I can remember. I make my own charcoal and use whatever paper I can. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I don't even know who you are.
Well, I don't even know who you are.
I'm Marty. Marty Johnson.
I'm Adam. Adam Cartwright. Been up on the Humboldt River, checking out the range. On my way home.
Where do you live?
Ponderosa, about 100 miles from here.
100 miles. I haven't been more than 10 miles away from here. I'm beginning to think I'll never get away.
Oh, yes, you will. One of these days, some nice young fella's gonna come along and take you away to those wonderful, mysterious places you've been reading about.
Will you take me with you, Mr. Cartwright?
No.
Why not?
Well, first of all, your grandfather would have the law right after me.
If my mother was able to do it, why can't I?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to frighten you.
Who are you?
My name's Cody. I've been running from that storm out there.
On foot?
No, my horse broke his leg in that gully back a few miles. I'd appreciate it if you give me some shelter for the evening.
This girl's grandfather runs the place here, and I'm afraid he doesn't take too kindly to strangers. As a matter of fact, he pulled a gun on me when I asked for the same thing.
Well, I gather he didn't persuade you to leave.
Yeah, just thought I'd warn you.
I'm warned. Are you afraid of visitors like your grandfather?
No. But Grandpa runs the station.
Well, you mind if I have some coffee then? I'm kind of cold and hungry and tired. In that order.
Come in the house. Both of you.
You are sure you want to do this? You know how grandfather feels.
I want to.
Well, this ought to be interesting.
Marty! 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 What are you doing down there? Now, you go on and get in that house. I'm going to tan your hide.
You're right. He's downright unfriendly.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
Name's Cody.
Well, like I said to him, this here's private property. Ain't nobody staying here. Now, go on and get both.
Don't. Put it back.
I told you about that gun.
I was just saying to the young lady here, I'm kind of cold and hungry and tired. And I think I'd be a lot more comfortable inside the house. So let's go, huh? Yeah, I've heard of the Ponderosa. Must be pretty soft owning a big spread like that.
Well, if you consider working 10, 12 hours a day for, 20 years to build it, guess maybe you're right.
Well, there are quicker ways of getting rich, friend.
Oh, I'm sure there are. Which way are you headed?
The border. I got a little deal down in Mexico.
Mexico. Did I hear you say something about Mexico?
Yeah, what about it?
Marty's interested in faraway places.
So was her mother. Look what happened to her.
At least she had the courage to get away from here. My mother's been all over the world. A couple of years ago, I got a letter from Paris.
I hear that's a great old town. I bet she really did some living there.
Can't you shut up? Now, you stop talking to her like that, filling her head with fool ideas.
Oh, what's wrong with you, old man? You want her to wind up an old woman regretting the things she's never done?
Well, now, you talk just like the man that took her mother away. You all talk big. She's my granddaughter, and I don't want her hearing it.
No, I don't think words can do her any harm, Mr. Johnson.
Well, your protectiveness is very touching, grandfather. What's she protecting you from, Marty?
Everything. And everybody. He thinks he's going to keep me here the rest of my life. But someday I'm going to get away.
And end up someplace where nobody cares what happens to you.
Anything's better than being locked up.
Well, you got spunk, honey. Don't let anyone ever tell you what you ought not to do.
You understand, don't you?
Well, yeah, I can understand why you'd want to get away from this.
Take me away.
Marty.
What?
I could go with you to Mexico.
Look, kid, I'm traveling fast, so I have to travel alone.
Well, you could leave me any place, any place.
Oh, come on, Marty. You know better than that. Use your head.
Please, mister. We could use our horses from the corral.
Oh, no, you won't.
Who's that?
Where are you going? Now, where do you think I'm going? That's a stage coming in. I have to take care of it.
Stage at this time of night?
It's late. Way late. Will you mind your own business?
What's the matter, Luke? Something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. Just think it's kind of a strange time of night for a stage to arrive.
It's 4 hours overdue. Probably got caught in the storm.
Whew, I ain't never seen the likes of that wind. Hi, Marty. Who they?
Oh, the storm blew us in. But we're leaving in the morning.
Sure is a humdinger. Horses can't make no time at all. We stopped at Juniper Hole for a couple hours, figured they'd let up a little, but it didn't.
Well, you better get going, Leif. You're way late now.
That's right, Jesse. So late, in fact, a couple of hours ain't gonna make any difference.
Well, I ain't running no hotel.
But you're running a line station, and the line passengers are important. So you just end up with all that chatter, Jesse. We're staying here till morning. Think you can fix us up a little bit of grub, Marty?
Sure. If Grandpa doesn't...
Well, Grandpa can't do anything about it. He works for the stage line.
Oh, man. How many passengers are there?
Just two. Guess that's all there is.
What difference does it make?
None, no difference at all.
Terrible out there. I never seen such a wind.
How long do you think it'll last?
You never can tell, but you'll be able to travel through it come daylight.
Wait, better. I gotta get to San Francisco before the week's out.
Oh, stop worrying, Tim. The job will be there. I'm Lucy Fisher.
My pleasure, ma'am. I'm Madam Cartwright.
Smells good.
Well, we have a very good cook here. Madam Cartwright.
Tim? Well. Luke Martin. I haven't seen you since St. Louis. What is it, 3 years? Just about. How are you, Lucy?
I'm fine, Luke.
Martin, huh?
What are you doing out here, Tim? We're on our way to San Francisco. I got a job managing the new Palace Saloon, if I ever get there. No, I'm gonna check on that driver. No. What? Stay in here. What's the idea? If you're on your way out from St. Louis, you've been hitting the same towns I have. So you're staying in here.
Well, we fed the livestock, and I am do the same thing to myself. What's everybody being so quiet about? Let's get to them victuals.
Leif. This is Luke Martin.
Don't. Where did you meet the posse?
When we stopped at Juniper Hole. They're staying there till the storm blows itself out.
I figured the storm would delay them as much as me. Well, we might all as well make ourselves comfortable. Put your guns on the table. Down at the end. All right, now step back.
What do they want you for, Luke?
I killed a man. How much money that kid's father put up?
$5,000.
He must really want you, Mr. Martin.
Boy, that worthless weaseling kid sure wasn't worth that. He was a liar and a cheat, and he deserved to die.
His pa didn't think so.
Well, I thought so.
And now that you're running, do you still think so?
Well, what do you know about it? You weren't there when the kid came across the table with a knife in his hand.
That's self-defense, isn't it?
Well, not in that town. And that's why I'm running. And that's why I have to travel alone. Well, listen, it's going to be a long night, so let's all sort of relax. Enjoy it, huh?
Sure spent the night in better places than this. Come on, Marty, let's get that food on the table.
What about the posse?
Well, they don't know where I am. They'll wait the storm out back at Juniper Hole. Take them about 3 hours to get here after they start. And besides, if I left, Tim would head right back for the posse. Wind or dust or storm. Wouldn't you, huh, Tim? $5,000 is a lot of money. Don't anybody start counting it yet.
You know, Marty, you're an awful good cook. Where'd you learn it?
Not much else to do around here, except maybe feed the chickens.
Well, anyway, you're good enough to make a living at it if you had to.
A girl as pretty as Marty doesn't have to worry about earning a living as a cook.
I'm not that pretty.
You sure are, honey. Anytime you want a job, you just look me up in San Francisco.
I pick the girls.
I do the hiring, and don't you forget it.
But I pick the girls, and don't you forget that.
From the looks of the girls you've picked lately, you must be getting afraid of competition.
Listen, you. There ain't a girl from St. Louis to San Francisco that'd put up with the stuff I've taken off you in the last 10 years.
All right. Knock off that chatter out there and bring in some more coffee.
What kind of a job are you talking about?
Well, it's not for you, Marty.
Well, anything's better than this.
You got a lot to learn, kid.
I've known plenty of nice girls that worked the bars. Some of them married pretty good, too.
Don't listen to him, honey. Anytime you want a job, you just come and see me in San Francisco.
Thanks. I will.
Men. You're all alike. Don't pay attention to any of them, Marty.
Think the posse's gonna take a chance on this storm? Seems to be dying down a little.
Well, I tell you, I'm a gambler, friend. And I've got a long ride ahead of me. I think I'm going to stand a lot better chance when the storm is over. Besides, they're lawmen. They're not after bounty money like our friend Tim here.
For a lousy $5,000, you risk getting yourself killed. Maybe I ought to make you pay for the chance you took, huh?
Why shoot him?
Why not? He deserves it.
Maybe. Where does it end?
Well, if he'd gotten his hands on one of those guns, he would have killed me.
But he's not you.
All right, sit up there. Maybe next time you won't be so lucky. You can do what you want with us. They'll get you anyway, Luke. You just wait and see. Maybe I would be better off bucking that storm than staying in here.
Maybe you'd be better off going back.
What does that mean, give myself up?
Well, you said the kid came at you with a knife. Maybe you can prove it.
With the kid's father owning the whole town? Let's have a laugh together, huh, friend?
I see what you mean.
What would they do to you if you went back?
They'd hang me.
Maybe. Maybe only a jail sentence.
Well, I'd rather be dead in that case.
I know what you mean about jail. It's how I feel around here. Every day, just like the last one. Day after day.
We think a little alike, honey. Anyway, I don't plan on going back, dead or alive. By tomorrow night, I'll be in Mexico. It's been a long night. I should get moving in a few minutes.
How long has it been since you slept?
Oh, yeah, so long I forgot.
It'll be even longer before you reach the border.
Well, don't worry about it. I'll make it. That's me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
Like it?
Yeah, I like it. Can I have it?
I'd be pleased.
You know, I get down to Mexico, I'm going to get a frame for this. Hang it up on the wall. And I'll tell everybody about the pretty girl who drew it for me.
Luke.
Yeah?
It's almost dawn. You'll be leaving soon. Please take me with you.
Honey, don't start that again.
I could help you.
you can help me?
I can saddle horses and I can ride as well as anyone. I know the desert. I could show you the way.
You really want to get away from here, don't you?
More than anything else in this world.
All right, go on, saddle up 2 horses.
You mean it?
Go on, hurry.
You're not being fair, you know.
Well, why is that? Life with me wouldn't be that bad.
The moment she gets in your way, you'll drop her.
Come on now, she's a big girl. She can take care of herself.
That kid's lived her all of her life. She's never been anyplace else. Now, why don't you just leave her alone? I think I can help her.
Well, what are you going to do? Get her a job as a cook? Or send her on the way with Tim? That is, if you don't get yourself shot by that old man. No, I think that I know her a little bit better than you do. She'll be all right. She's got spunk, like I said. Anyway, I sort of like her. And somebody's got to take her out of this trap.
Maybe so, but not you, huh?
Well, I think I'm the only one who can do it, Cartwright.
Well, at least we know where we stand.
I put these in the saddle.
All right.
Use your head, Luke. You can't outrun that posse with a girl on your hands.
Well, I tell you, I think I can.
No, you're fooling yourself.
Everything's ready. I'll just go pack a few clothes.
She's not going with you, Luke.
We just been all through that, Cartwright.
I'm not going to let her get on that horse.
No?
Nope.
Well, that kind of makes me feel like you're asking me to kill you.
Would you? Is taking that girl with you that important?
What's with you, Cartwright? Yesterday you didn't even know she existed.
Anybody, stranger or not, deserves help when they're walking into trouble.
Well, I don't understand you, friend. But you are right about one thing. It ain't that important to me. If you're ever down in Mexico, look me up. Tell Marty I'm sorry.
Where are you going in those clothes?
I'm leaving, Grandpa.
With him? With that killer? No, you can't do that. I won't let you go. Marty!
Where is he? Where's Luke?
He's gone.
No. No, he's taking me with him.
No, he's not, Marty. He changed his mind.
But he promised me. He promised.
I know.
Oh, leave me alone.
Silly dang girl. I ought to go in there and tan her hide good.
If you'd ever given her any understanding and a little warmth from your heart, it never would have happened.
You started it. It all started when you came here last night.
No, it didn't start with me. It started a long time ago, and you know when. Now, I want you to go in there and tell her you're sorry. And promise her a chance in life.
I don't know what to say.
All right. Marty, I know you're not going to believe it, but I do know how you feel. So does your grandfather. You know, the way you hurt now is it's the same kind of pain he must have felt when your mother ran away. You know, I don't think we ever really know anybody else's pain. Just our own. When somebody you love turns their back on you and rejects you, it's just about the blackest time in the world. And now it's that kind of a time for you. But understand it, Marty. Don't blame your grandfather. Don't blame anybody for what's happened to you. Right now, it could never work out with you and Luke anyway. I know, I could say I haven't the right to talk another man down, but I don't mean that. I'm not even saying that he's absolutely wrong for you, but... well, the way he is now, running away from himself, life, or whatever it is, well, the only thing it could bring you is just more pain. You see, when you start running, you gotta be sure that you're not just exchanging one trap for another. You don't want to do that, Marty. Life promises too much to just carelessly and foolishly throw it away. You know, you're a very lovely, very talented girl. Your drawings and your sketches show a real gift. But it's a gift that's got to grow. It's got to be helped.
It's going to help me out here.
Well, I think I might be able to help you. I've got some great friends in San Francisco I know that'll be glad to help. But you got to help, too. You got to give time a chance. And you got to give yourself a chance.
Luke, you're back. You've come back for me. I knew you'd come back.
What happened?
I guess I was wrong. That posse didn't hold up at Juniper. They rode on through. I saw them out there and doubled back.
I figured you'd never make it.
Well, what are you going to do?
Well, I don't know. I'll think of something.
Posse on your heels is kind of late, isn't it?
Well, it could be. But I think my luck's still running good.
Up to now, friend.
Marty, you stay away from him.
Hey, shut up, old man. Now, you women get inside. Hurry up. Larkin, get the saddle off this horse and get in the corral. Come on! Back that stage up. Get in the barn.
You sure you know what you're doing, Marty? Listening to a man like that?
He'll take me with him this time.
You got a lot to learn about men. You in love with that guy?
I don't know. Never been in love.
You'll know. When the right man comes along, you'll know. I knew when I was in love with Tim.
Are you still?
It's different now. Tim's weak where that Luke is strong. Say, maybe that's good. At least Tim ain't being chased by a posse who wants to kill him.
I'm sorry to call this reunion so soon after our last goodbye, boys, but that's the way the cards were dealt. So let's all settle down. I don't think we're going to have long to wait.
You expect to get out with just your gun?
I don't think there's going to be a need for any gun.
When you met that posse I told you, your luck ran out.
Not yet, my friend.
I told you how it'd end up with him. Now, you just wait. There'll be shooting and killing.
All right, here they come. All right, now just tell him your grandfather's sick, but keep him away from the house.
But Luke...
Don't worry, honey. Everything will be fine.
All right. I'll try to get rid of him.
Howdy, ma'am. I'm Sheriff Ross, and these are my deputies. We're looking for a man by the name of Luke Martin. Have you seen any strangers around here?
No. There hasn't been anyone here since the stage went through last night.
We ran into it at Juniper Hole during the storm.
Oh, they just changed horses and kept on going.
What, in that storm?
Oh, one of the passengers was in a hurry to get to San Francisco.
Yes, he talked about it, Juniper.
Now, don't try anything, friend, unless you want that girl to get caught in the crossfire. And remember, all of you, any one of those bullets can hit you, too.
You here all alone, ma'am?
Yes, except my grandfather. He's been sick in bed for the last few days.
Oh, that's too bad. Anything we can do for you?
No, thank you. He'll be up in a day or so.
And would you mind if we watered our horses?
Of course not.
Thanks for your trouble, ma'am.
Maybe he took a chance and moved on.
Well, I guess all we can do is push on and hope to catch up with him.
Good girl, Marty.
Oh, like you said, she's got spunk.
When we get out of here, everything might just work out all right.
You're a long way from getting out of here.
I'm mounting up. If they had worked.
Tim!
Hey, cover!
What happened?
Stupid Tim.
No, Marty.
Why'd you have to do it, Tim? Why?
For 5,000. How could you blame me?
You big stiff. Is that all that's important to you?
5,000. You know what I could do with that kind of money?
You could get yourself killed trying to get it. That's what you could do.
No more working for other people. I could have had a place of my own.
You darn fool. You never would have known what to do with it. You always picked the wrong things. The wrong horses, the wrong women.
I picked you, Lucy.
Tim?
He's dead. You killed him.
Well, he deserved killing. All he was thinking about was that reward money, so he died trying to get it.
You know you didn't have to shoot him, Luke. You saw what happened. I had him at the door. You didn't have to kill him.
Well, what did you expect me to do? You saw him make his play. You know what he was trying to do? I'm fighting for my life, friend.
How many lives do you figure yours is worth?
As many as it takes to get me out of here.
Luke! You haven't got a chance in there. At least send out the girl and the old man. Why get them killed?
Send Marty out with Lucy.
Nobody leaves here.
There's no sense in getting the women shot. What good'll it do you?
I'll show you what good it'll do me.
Don't look like he's going for it.
Now what?
Well, he's pinned down. He can't get away. Sooner or later, he's got to give up. And listen, I don't want anybody risking his life when they don't have to. Tell the others.
What's happening? Why aren't they shooting out there?
I know they got him pinned down.
You don't worry about that. I'm still ahead of them.
All they got to do is wait.
Yeah? Well, I don't have to wait. I'm taking you out of here.
Suppose I don't want to go.
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, and I'm going to do what I say.
You're going to get her killed. That's what you're going to do. All he wants is a hostage.
If you want to hide behind a woman's skirt, take me.
I'm not asking you either. I'm taking Marty out of here.
Well, I'm not going to let you do it, Luke.
Don't get in my way, Cartwright.
You know how it's going to have to be.
All right. If you want me to kill you.
No! Luke, I'll go. Don't kill him.
It's funny how it's always my choice, isn't it? You figure I got to worry about everybody else's problems and never my own. Well, this time it's going to be different. Come on, Jesse, grab her!
Leave him alone, leave him. Now it's all over, Luke.
Well, what are you going to do? Turn me in for the money?
No, I don't need the money. But I don't see that you get a fair trial.
Well, I tell you what you can do. You can pull that trigger.
No, that's the difference between you and me.
Well, I don't want to spend the rest of my life in jail. You understand that?
You won't. They're gonna hang you. Let's go.
Luke, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't much help, was I? Well, you're lucky you didn't go away with me. Now maybe you'll get out of here. Listen, there is one thing you can do for me.
Well, that depends.
You'll get $5,000 when you take me out to that posse. Do you see she gets it? So she can get her chance.
She's got it.
When you rode into the way station the other day, Mr. Cartwright, I almost shot you. But if you hadn't come, I'd have probably gone right on being a dang fool the rest of my life. Here they come.
Well, Lucy, there's the address of the art teacher in San Francisco.
Thank you, Adam. I'll put it right here in my little pocketbook. Don't worry, I'll deliver her safely.
I'm sure you will. You gonna be all right?
Sure. Maybe I'll find another Tim. With my luck, I always pick that kind of guy.
Good luck.
Goodbye, Adam.
Goodbye, Grandpa.
Goodbye, Marty. Now, I was only doing what I thought was right.
Oh, I know.
Oh. Can't even look at you without seeing your ma. Same fresh innocence. Same trust. Same hunger for all those things I couldn't give her.
You gave me love, just as you gave it to Ma. I understand it now.
Oh, well, I better get those bags to the coach. Marty, while you're away, you'd better be a good girl or I'll tan your hide.
If you don't, I will.
Oh, thank you, Adam.
Make it mean something, Marty.
I will.
He hasn't danced with anybody but her all night. Do you think it was wise to invite Judge Terry here then?
All these people are our friends. Let's keep the Civil War out of this house.
Stay off our pretty toes, will you, Bob? What's the matter, Charlie? Don't you like our punch?
Oh, sure.
Adam, it looks like little Joe is rather taken with the charms of that Southern belle.
Yes, so it would seem.
Punch.
honored tonight by the presence of the distinguished English Shakespearean actor, Walter Craigsmuir. And I am fortunate to have been able to prevail upon him to recite a short selection from the performance which he'll be presenting at the Opera House tomorrow evening. Mr. Walter Craigsmuir.
Ladies and gentlemen, mine host, Mr. Cartwright, as you have requested, some words from the immortal bard. Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent, that you may hear. And awake your senses, that you may the better judge.
Forgotten, look away.
If there be any man in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say,
oh, I wish I was in
love for Caesar was no less
look
than
away,
his.
Look away.
If
you have
then
enough
that
manners to
friend
be quiet?
demand,
You got something again, Dixie Yank?
Why don't you get out of here with your drunken rebel, Terry?
There are just as many Yankee drunks, Stuart. You will not bring the Civil War into my house.
All right, why don't you come out with it?
Out with it?
With what you're thinking.
Well, that could be a dangerous request.
I wasn't deaf last night when you made your remarks about Morvath.
Joe, I didn't say anything about the girl. Just about what she represents. Which happens to be a system based on the enslavement of human beings.
She doesn't believe in that any more than you do. She just feels the South has the right to work out their own problems. They don't want to be dictated to by a bunch of northern politicians.
You mean it wants to hold on to slavery for another 100 years?
I mean nothing of the kind. In either case, Morvath has nothing to do with it.
Now, Joe, that's not true, and you know it. She and her father are bound to the South and everything it stands for in the war.
Now, look, lately you've been twisting everything and everybody into the war or politics. Now, after this, I want you to leave my girl out of it.
Well, how can I? When she and her father are in it up to their necks. And they'll pull you in with them if you don't come to your senses.
You know, I'm getting a little tired of your prejudice against my girl.
And I'm getting tired of you being blinded by a girl when there's more important things to remember.
What's all this about?
Just trying to open his eyes a little.
Open his eyes about what?
About Judge Terry.
I'm not marrying Judge Terry.
Now, hold on there, boy. This is the first time you've mentioned anything about marriage?
I wasn't sure before. Morvath and I are going to be married. And I don't care about her father's politics. I love her and she loves me.
I think she'd say anything to get a Cartwright into the Terry faction.
Don't cut it. Stop it. Enough.
Oh, you know about Terry. You know Jefferson Davis has promised him the governorship to the territory if it goes Confederate.
What's that got to do with Morvath?
Well, I just got through telling you.
Well, Adam, can a young fella fall in love with a girl without war or politics coming into it?
Not when it's Terry's daughter.
Hey, Paul. Oh. Paul, we got a caller up at the house.
Who?
It's Bill Stewart. He says he wants to talk to you. It's important.
Well, tell him I'll be right along.
Yes, sir.
Now, how about both of you giving a little thought to the running of this ranch? And stop wasting your time on things that don't concern us.
I think that this war does concern us.
And we've got a ranch to run. And starting right now, we're all going to remember it. We got an offer from McKeeson and Carson for 50,000 feet of undressed timber. I want you and Hoss to head north and mark out the timber for cutting. It's about time the herd was inspected so you can pack your grub and take care of that. Maybe a couple of weeks on the trail will clear your heads and cool your tempers. Now, come on, there are a couple of things out here I want you to do.
Afternoon, Ben.
Hello, Bill. How are you?
Never better. In fact, I'm full of beans and benevolence this afternoon, Ben. The legislature just gave us the nod.
What nod?
Statehood. They've called a convention to meet in Carson City next week. 36 delegates from all over the Comstock to vote a resolution to join the Union. Now, we've divided up the territory, and you're going to represent the Ponderosa.
Well, wait a minute now, Bill.
You've got the biggest spread in the area, Ben. You're entitled to representation. Oh, naturally, you'll be able to vote whichever way you want, for or against statehood. But I know you pretty well, Ben, and I'm pretty confident that I can...
Don't be too confident, Bill.
About what?
About the way I'm going to vote.
Ben, you see what's going on in town. Terry's already lining up delegates to defeat a statehood resolution. He figures to lick us in the convention and then shove us over into the Confederacy.
That's just so much talk.
Talk, is it? The law says all statehood needs is a 2/3 majority. I've got 23 delegates pledged to me. That's one short. I need your vote, Ben. And Lincoln needs the silver. He needs it bad.
Yeah. Yes, he needs it bad. And so does Jefferson Davis need it bad. And if neither one of them gets it, the war will die of its own poverty.
Ben Cartwright, you've got your head deeper in the ground than the deepest diggings.
Bill, this war has nothing to do with us here in the territory. But it's already divided my sons, one against the other. I don't want any part of it. And if statehood means war, then I certainly don't want any part of that. Now, you're going to have to find your vote somewhere else. You're not going to find it here.
I never thought I'd see the day that you'd abandon your country.
You don't mean that.
Don't I?
What are you thinking about?
I was thinking about the dance the other night.
Oh. I'm sorry about what happened. I guess feelings are running pretty high, though.
But that wasn't what I was thinking about, little Joe. I was thinking about the dress Emily wore. Did you notice it?
Her dress? No. No, I didn't even notice Emily.
I understand that dress came all the way from London, right through the British blockade, there across the country. It was a beautiful dress. Father said I could order one from Paris, France next year.
Well, we'll have a party so you can show it off.
We haven't had a party in our house in ever so long. I love parties, little Joe, where everyone looks so nice. The men are all standing up so straight and proper, wearing their best clothes. The ladies can show off their latest gowns.
We'll have lots of parties. I might even invite somebody else, I don't know. Of course, most of the time it'll be just you and I. See, I don't want to share you with anybody else.
Little Joe, someday I want a large white house with 6 tall pillars reaching clear up to a balcony.
A house like the one my father tells me he used to have back in Virginia.
All right, I'll build you a house like that. I've got the perfect spot for it, too, right on the Ponderosa. It's a real high bluff with a view as far as a man's eye can see. I'll build a little road up to it.
Oh, it sounds so wonderful. I just hope nothing ever happens to change that.
Hey, you know what could happen to change that? I love you more than anything in the world.
Thank you very much, Judge Terry.
Lovely color, isn't it? Well, sir, have we demonstrated to you that we can provide one or two little items that won't insult a European palate?
The dinner was superb. The simple miner of my native Wales manages somehow to subsist in a slightly less ornate manner, I must confess. But then your mines yield silver. Ours merely coal.
And that silver, sir, is most important. If we block statehood, and I think we can, there'll be no silver for Mr. Lincoln's war chest.
I gather you're referring to your Civil War.
Yours as well as ours.
Well, I wonder how in the world you arrive at that conclusion.
You know how I arrive at it. You people are praying for a Southern victory. Your cotton industry has got to have a Southern victory in order to survive. That's common knowledge.
Well, I must confess it wasn't common knowledge to me. But then I know absolutely nothing about politics.
I'm prepared to accept your incognito, sir.
My incognito?
Your disguise.
Oh, I know what the word means. But what, may I ask, am I supposed to be disguising?
Mr. Craigsmere, don't make me spell out every sentence like a page from McGuffey's reader. We were promised an agent to work with us. For the last 6 months, we've been expecting that agent to make his appearance.
An agent here in Virginia City? You think I'm he?
Well, aren't you?
Good heavens, no. I'm an actor, sir. A strolling player, a mummer.
Don't toy with me, sir. We're bleeding to death, fighting for our lives. The silver under our feet can stop that bleeding, but we need help.
If I were this man you're talking about, how do you suppose the people this so-called agent represents can help you?
Invest in our future. Invest in the only thing that can stop this war with victory to our cause. The South is impoverished, crippled, desperate. But we will win, sir. We must win. But we need money for men. We need money for arms and ammunition. With money, we can block statehood. With the help that you people give us, we could keep this great silver treasure of the Comstock lode from falling into the hands of the enemy.
Miss Terry, Mr. Cartwright.
How are you, sir?
This rumor, Joseph, is it true your father won't join Stuart's delegation?
Yes, that's right, sir. He's against statehood at this time.
Well, so you heard, didn't you? No two-thirds majority, no statehood.
I'm only an actor, Judge Terry, nothing more. That reminds me, I must get back to the hall. Thank you for an excellent dinner. I'm sorry I have to run like this. Miss Terry, Mr. Cartwright.
What's Mr. Craigsmere's interest in our problems, Father?
All in good time, my dear.
Peter?
Yes, sir?
There's the door. I've been waiting for you.
You're going to be late for your performance.
There are more important things than a performance. I have a task for you, a very important one.
Yes?
You're going to San Francisco.
San Francisco, Mr. Craigsmere?
That's right.
And when?
Now. Immediately. At once.
But the curtain goes up in 10 minutes.
Blast the curtain, boy. I told you this was important. You know where to take us?
The same place. Are you sure you won't need me?
Oh, I was able to dress myself before we met. I think I still remember how. I'm depending on you, Peter.
I'll remember, sir.
Good luck to you. And don't forget, it's vitally important.
I understand. Oh, and you remember, curtain in 10 minutes.
Morning, boys.
Morning, Paul. Morning.
You all set?
Yeah, we're on the way, Paul.
I figure it shouldn't take you any more than a couple of weeks to get the tree blazing done. You better move out.
We'll see you later, Paul.
Yeah, have a good trip. Right. Keep an eye out for the Paiutes.
Oh, we will.
Morning, Joe.
Morning, Pop. Adam leave?
Yes, just now. About time you got started, isn't it?
As soon as I finish eating.
Well, I hope you'll both feel differently by the time you get back.
I'm gonna feel just the same. If he doesn't change, that's his problem.
Don't fly off at me, boy.
Well, then you tell Adam to keep his mouth shut about the girl I love.
Don't raise your voice to me. I have no chip on my shoulder to be knocked off.
I'm sorry.
Joseph, I've been in love, too, in my lifetime. Now, you think that she is the most beautiful, most wonderful creature that ever lived, don't you?
I know she is.
Well, you're wrong. Your mother was. You know, taking a wife is more than just taking a woman. There's her family that you have to consider, too.
Oh, come on, Pa. I'm not marrying her family.
But you still can't forget the family. And you can't ignore the fact that there's a hate festering this country which is like an open wound. We're a divided country. Homes, families, fathers and sons not daring to speak their own minds to one another.
I don't understand. Yesterday you said we should stay out of this.
Yes, I did.
All right, then why is it my problem now?
Before this is over, this war, it'll be everybody's problem. Because sooner or later, we're going to have to make a decision. And whatever that decision, we're all going to suffer and bleed and maybe die.
Each one of us is going to have to make his own decision, Pa. I better get started.
Next time we'll hang you next to Abe Lincoln. You dirty gray belly.
William Stewart, what are you trying to do in this town? Starting riots in the street, fist brawls.
I was only hanging up a banner. In case you've forgotten, Judge Terry, free speech is still allowed in this territory.
I've not forgotten that, or many other things.
Well, remember that, before you order your thugs to start jumping on people.
Southerners are no brawlers, sir. My son was no brawler. He was a soldier. He fought with General Jackson.
He died for the wrong cause, Judge. I'm sorry for him.
The wrong cause. You are the man who's leading the people to the wrong flag. Your statehood, it will fail. It's already a foregone conclusion you'll not get your needed votes. The Nevada Territory will go to the Confederacy, sir.
Judge Terry, I'm afraid I have to disagree with you. I honor your views, sir. I know you believe in them sincerely. I know how bravely your son fought. I've been hoping that the Comstock somehow we'll be able to keep out of it. But it looks like we can't keep out of it, doesn't it? If it comes to making up our minds about going one way or the other, Union or Confederate, I think we'd better go Union. Too many men have died putting this Union together for me to stand by and see it destroyed. I guess you can count on the Ponderosa bill. I'll go to Carson and vote for statehood.
God bless you, Ben. I've got my 2/3.
Morning, Daddy.
Oh, good morning.
Well, you haven't eaten any breakfast at all.
I've just had this telegram.
Oh?
How to do it. How to use it so that its value won't be dissipated. Marva?
Yes, Daddy.
Joseph Cartwright.
Little Joe? What about him?
Where is he?
He's gone with the men to check the herd.
He'll be back when?
He ought to be back this afternoon.
This afternoon. And his brothers?
Well, they won't be back for another week. They're blazing trees up north. Daddy, why are you asking all this?
I want you to come with me.
Come with you where?
To Ponderosa. You finish your breakfast and get a bonnet. While I have Gamaliel hitch up the trap.
Daddy, what's in that telegraph?
Ammunition for the battle. The only ammunition, it seems, I'm to be issued in this war.
I won't let you use little Joe in your war with Mr. Stewart.
My war is not with Stewart. It's with those men who are trying to steal the territory of Nevada for the northern side.
Whatever you call it, Daddy, I don't care. I won't let you use little Joe. And don't ask me to help you use him.
Do you think I want to? Do you think I want to use my own daughter? We must win. Doesn't your brother's dying have any meaning for you?
Daddy, please.
Then don't make me believe that he died for nothing. This is your war, too, isn't it, Morvath?
You know it is, Daddy.
Then if you won't do it for me, won't you do it for your brother? And Joseph, too. Believe me, he'll be much better off if he declares himself with us instead of men like Stewart.
I don't know. I've got to think about it.
No, my dear, you haven't time. Do you realize how many boys like your brother have died while we've been sitting talking here?
I'll get my bonnet.
Well, the lost is found.
How you doing, Pop?
Good, good.
Oh.
How'd it go, son?
Just a lot of cattle.
Well, how'd you find them?
Well, they're not too scattered. They're getting fat.
Good.
Fences are all in good shape.
Good. How are the men?
Men are fine, real good. You hear anything from Adam?
No, not yet. He and Hoss are up in the north section. They got plenty of work to do up there.
Well, that's good.
Hmm?
Maybe he won't be so cantankerous when he gets back.
Well, Judge, how nice to see you.
Cartwright.
Nice to see you again, Morvath. You're looking prettier than ever.
Thank you, Mr. Cartwright.
It's good to see you, Cartwright.
Well, thank you.
Could we have a little talk? It's most important.
Well, certainly. Well, why don't we go into the house? I'll clean up a bit. We can talk.
Morvath and I will be in just a few minutes.
Fine.
What's so important?
Joe. I missed you, darling.
I miss you too, sweetheart. Hey, what brought you out here anyway?
Your father's going to the convention.
I thought he wanted to stay out of it.
He's not going to stay out of it. Joey's going to vote for statehood.
Statehood, huh? We better get in there.
Before we go in, my father, I want you to know he's doing what he has to do and what he thinks is best.
Well, you've got all this land here, clear down to the lake.
Now, Judge, you don't have to tell me where the Ponderosa boundaries lie. What are you getting at?
Well, just this. You've got all this land and only one delegate going down to Carson City to represent it. Now, the apportionment committee says that that's not fair.
Well, I think I can speak for the Ponderosa.
Not you alone. Not anymore. Now, here's a telegraph received this morning, replying to the committee's request. Ponderosa is now authorized to send 2 delegates to the convention.
Now, what does Bill Stewart think of this?
What Stewart thinks about it has nothing to do with it.
Well, I don't quite understand what... There are only Cartwrights on the Ponderosa.
We know that. So pick one to be your delegate. There are 4 of you here.
Well, 2 of the boys won't even be back until after the convention, and you knew that too, didn't you, Judge?
Well, that's not important now. You read the telegraph?
Yeah. Yes, I read the telegraph. And this whole thing is beginning to smell like a...
Smell like nothing, Cartwright. We're only asking another representative of the Ponderosa to come down to Carson City as a delegate. The way he votes is his own business.
Don't take me for a fool, Terry. You don't believe that, neither do I.
You have your beliefs, Cartwright. I have mine. And may I remind you that several days ago you told me you honored my views.
May I remind you that several days ago you didn't try to come between me and my sons.
What grounds have you for such an accusation?
Judge, I'm just wondering something. I'm wondering what your son, who died at the Battle of Keensburg, would think of you now.
Don't try to shame me with the memory of my son, Cartwright. He died fighting for the same cause for which I would gladly lay down my own life.
I'm not questioning your beliefs, sir. Only the methods you use in accomplishing them.
Hi. Well, this should interest you, Joseph. Good day, Mr. Cartwright. Come along, Morvath. Quite a drive back to Virginia City.
Morvath, I'll see you later.
Goodbye, Mr. Cartwright, little Joe.
Request for another delegate from the Ponderosa.
That's right. With Adam and Hoss away, that makes you the logical candidate, doesn't it?
Well, I don't want to be a delegate.
I'm afraid you have no choice, son.
Yes, I do. This is not my problem.
No. But it has been presented to us. And to you.
You know, this is more of a problem for me than it is for anybody else.
I know. I know. And when it comes time for you to vote, you're going to have to vote not because of the way you feel about a girl or about me, but because of the way you feel about the issue. It's a problem. But it's also a responsibility.
We might as well make a night of it here.
Burn, I've seen better places than this to spend the night.
What could you be doing that could be more wonderful than this?
I'll tell you what I could be doing. I could be sitting in Virginia City with a great big ice-cold beer in front of me. That's what. Or one of them roasted pigs with an apple stuck in his mouth.
Well, I owe you the apple. Now, if you get some wood, we can get the beans heated up.
That's what I mean. Beans.
Adam! Adam, come here, quick! Adam!
Paiutes?
Ain't no doubt about it. Must have been a hunting party. You ever seen him before?
I think so. But if I'm right, I don't know what he's doing here.
Why? Where'd you see him?
Back in town, the actor, Craigsmuir. There's no address on this.
What is it?
And I thought he was just an actor.
Who?
Craigsmuir.
Ain't he?
Take a look at that.
What do you make of this, Adam?
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy? All that talk about cotton?
Yep.
Who'd want cotton bad enough to do something like this?
British textiles. They've already got their privateers trying to run a Union blockade off Charleston. And it's no secret they want the South to win. They need that cotton to keep their mills operating.
Yeah. According to that letter, there's somebody right here that's willing to guarantee them that the South will win.
That's right. Money. Guns and ammunition.
And men.
Never thought Judge Terry would go this far.
Oh, now, come on, Adam. How do you know for sure it's Judge Terry?
I don't. But I know someone who does.
Hello, Joseph. I'm glad to see you. Wondering when you'd get here. Mr. Cartwright?
Terry?
Is Morvath here? Oh, yes. She's been expecting you. She's resting in her room.
Ben, there you are. Welcome to Carson City. We're going to make history here Wednesday. Say, we're going to have a little get-together in my room. You know, all the pledged delegates. You got here just in time to be in on it. Come on along and bring the youngster with you.
Oh, he's not pledged yet, Stuart. Are you, Joseph?
No, sir, that's right. My vote isn't committed yet.
To anybody?
No, not to anybody.
That's honest enough, boy. Make up your own mind.
Little Joe, good to see you. We were wondering when you'd get here.
We were just going upstairs to see you.
I'm sure you two have much to talk about.
Places, Ben. The boy isn't going to vote against us, is he?
We found your man a couple of days ago. The Paiutes got him.
Did?
He was very young.
Unfortunately, a lot of young men are dying these days.
These are difficult times.
Yeah. And fellers like you are trying to make them worse.
I don't think I quite understand you, sir.
And let me try. Who was this letter to, and what's more important, who was it about? And just who are you?
I could say I'm just a strolling player, an actor, man of the boards. That wouldn't satisfy you.
Nope, sure wouldn't.
Then let me just say the people I represent need the South's cotton to keep their mills rolling.
Enough to foster war?
Oh, that's a very moral approach. But then you don't need that cotton.
Who are you trying to make the deal with?
I'm sorry, I can't tell you that.
Well, I'll tell you what I can do. I can break you apart.
He
could you now?
All right. It's not of great importance now. My value here is gone. Your man is Judge Terry.
Well, looks like you were right all along, Adam. We just had to be sure.
Now we are. Statehood delegates would be glad to hear this.
Gentlemen, I'm afraid you're too late. Statehood will be defeated, and Nevada voted into the Confederacy.
Well, after they hear what we've got to say, I wouldn't be so sure.
It won't matter now, thanks to your brother.
What do you mean by that?
Why don't you go to the convention and find out?
Let's not go in yet. Somebody's after my vote every time I stick my nose out of the room.
Well, they're just trying to be helpful.
I must think I need an awful lot of help.
Joe, you're on the delegate list as uncommitted.
That's right, I am.
Have you decided which way you're going to vote?
I'd like to say I have it over and done with, but I haven't. Just can't decide yet. It's a pretty hard decision for me to make.
I'm sure of that, darling. I can just imagine what you've been going through. I'm also sure you know how I feel and how much this means to me. It's already cost me a brother. I'm committed, little Joe. I've taken a side. Just hope we're both on the same one.
You know I'd consider that. I'll do the best I can. Please remember, it's like my pa says, I must vote the way I think is right.
He's right, of course.
Thanks for understanding.
Well, it's time.
I guess it is time, isn't it?
Remember, whatever happens in there, I love you.
I know that. I'm just hoping this is all over, you'll say it again.
How's the time, Ben? Do you know yet how your boy's going to vote? The chips are down. They're going to call our hand.
Bill, the decision is not mine or yours. Where does he stand?
I don't know, Father. I'm sorry.
He must stand with the South.
Pass is required into the hall, sir.
I have something to say to these gentlemen.
Sorry, I can't allow.
Gentlemen, convention will come to order. Gentlemen.
I have something to say to this convention.
I'm sorry, sir, but nobody can speak here without proper credentials as a delegate. Now, with your approval, gentlemen, the clerk will now call the roll.
Gentlemen, it's important. I think you should hear it before you vote.
That's right. Mr. Chairman, this man is not a delegate. I demand that he be removed from the hall. Gentlemen, please. The convention is in order.
It'll only take a moment. Or is this convention afraid to hear the truth?
Hold the delegates. We can't wait all day. If
there's any further interference, I'll have the sergeant-at-arms handle the situation.
Mr. Chairman, my son asked a question which deserves an answer. Is this convention afraid to hear something which may be of vital importance to it?
He has a right to be heard.
Not here, he hasn't.
He says it's important.
It's a Yankee trick.
Hey, now, wait a minute. I'm a delegate. I have credentials. My brother says it's important. I believe him. I think we should hear him out.
If it's vitally important.
My brother and I found this letter on a dead man's body on the Ponderosa. It was written by one Walter Craigsmuir, an actor whom some of you may remember has been appearing in Virginia City for the past several weeks.
What are we waiting for? I say begin the votes.
It reads, I've been assured that given our support in terms of money rushed from San Francisco to Carson City for men, guns, and ammunition, the Nevada Statehood Convention can be stampeded and the territory enjoined to the Confederacy, as this would ensure Union defeat through depriving Mr. Lincoln of the wealth of the Comstock and thereby ensure a continued flow of cotton to British mills. I would recommend we do business on the terms suggested. Signed, Craigsmuir.
Who assured him? This convention has the right to know the answer to that question.
Gentlemen, that man is Judge David Terry.
That's true. I do not deny it. But what I did because I had to do. And I'm proud of it. I believe in my cause, and I'll fight to win it with any means I know and by every strength that I possess. Is there any man here whose faith in his cause is so small that he will not seek victory in a similar manner?
No, we will never subscribe to that, because we have faith in what we believe. We honor it. We will not destroy it by justifying any and all means to gain our ends.
Here, here.
Judge, you took too much on yourself. You went too far.
Let's vote.
Gentlemen, the clerk will now poll the delegates.
Come on, Ben.
I'm sorry, Morvan.
I'm sorry, too. For all of us. But especially for him.
What do you think he'll do now?
Well, with Nevada joining the Union, he'd like to go back to Virginia.
And what about you?
I must go with him. You understand, don't you?
I understand there's a war between us.
War's in sometime.
Sheriff, I want to talk to you. Hey, that was a bad one.
Might have busted a leg, Paul.
Hoss, get Doc in a minute. Water, you just rest easy now. Doc will be here in a minute. You were pretty lucky. You could have been killed.
Lucky. I was supposed to ride out today and pick up my bride.
Walter, you sure been keeping this wedding a secret. When did all this happen?
Yeah, and all the excitement. I forgot to congratulate you, Walter. Where'd you meet her?
What's she look like? I bet she's a pretty thing, ain't she?
Well, I've never seen her.
You never seen her?
No. She's a mail order bride. I answered an advertisement in some magazine. I'm supposed to pick her up.
It's 4 days up and 4 days back to Willow Creek. You'd never make it.
I gotta make it. I gave that girl my word. I can't go back on a promise. And not only that, I just got through inviting half the people in town to the wedding.
I ain't never seen a man as anxious to get his head in the noose of you, Paul. I reckon I'll just have to do something about it.
What are you getting at, Horse?
Paul, could you spare me from the Ponderosa long enough to take a little ride up to Willow Creek and back?
Well, I guess if there's going to be a wedding, there's got to be a bride.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I couldn't ask a man to do anything like that.
Mr. Prescott, that's what friends are for. You just tell me how I can locate her. Be happy to do it.
Well, thank you, Horace. Listen, her name's Lottie Hawkins. Send me a map on how to find her place. Now, I imagine she's going to be pretty scared not knowing me and all, so just tell her I'm a good man and I'll make her a fine husband, and tell her I can't wait until she gets here for the wedding.
Don't you worry about a thing.
One horse. Bring her back to me, safe and sound.
Could you tell me where the Hawkins Ranch is?
You found it. This is it.
You must be Miss Lottie Hawkins.
Why, yes. How did you... You must be Mr. Prescott. Well, of course you are. Well, come on in.
Ma'am, you gonna take her in with us?
Oh, no. Come on.
She's gonna come in anyhow.
Oh, Sam. Come on, Sam.
Sam?
Oh, Sam's a girl. Well, I didn't get much of a chance to freshen up. I didn't expect you so soon. But won't you sit down?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm afraid
Please.
I've got a little bad news I need to tell you.
Oh. I was afraid of that. I know what you're trying to say. You don't like the way I look.
No, ma'am, I like the way you look real fine.
You do?
Well, sure.
Well, I certainly am glad to hear that because I was wondering what you look like, too, and I must say I'm real pleased.
That's what I got to talk to you about, ma'am. You see, I ain't Walter Prescott.
Oh, you're not?
No, ma'am. I'm Hoss Cartwright. Walter had a little accident. Nothing serious, mind you, but he hurt his leg, and the doctor thought he ought to get some rest, so I told him I'd ride up here and fetch you. It's sort of getting late, though. I just wonder if your folks would mind if I put up here for the night.
Oh, I don't have any folks. My mom and pa are dead.
They are?
Yes.
You live way out here all alone?
Yes. Oh, except for Sam and Annie. They're my two goats. You must be awfully hungry. I'll get some wood and make some fire.
Here, no, I'll do that.
Why?
Well, ma'am, that's a man's job, not a lady's.
It is?
Sure.
I never did realize that there were so many lonely people in the world. Did you, Mr. Cartwright?
No, I don't reckon I ever thought about it much, ma'am. I got so much family that I never do want for company much. As a matter of fact, most of the time I'm wishing they'd leave me alone.
I'd say you're very fortunate. I've always thought that it was kind of... It's raining.
Yeah?
I gotta get Sam and Annie and bring them in here.
You gonna bring them in here, ma'am?
Well, yes, if I don't, they'll catch their death.
Oh, look, you go ahead and finish your coffee. I'll bring Sammy and Annie in.
Thank you, Hoss. Are you comfortable, Hoss?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Fine.
Hoss, I'm so ashamed. Putting my advertisement in that magazine. But I was so lonely. And I was going through life getting lonelier and lonelier.
Oh, ma'am, ain't nothing to be ashamed about. I can't figure anything being any worse than going through life all lonesome and nobody caring anything about you.
Mr. Prescott's letter was the only answer I received. I almost fainted when he asked me to marry him. What's he like?
He's a fine gentleman. Fine, fine gentleman. If you ask me, both of you got a pretty good bargain.
I sure hope so. Hoss, have you ever heard of the Knights of the Round Table?
The what?
King Arthur and all of those knights and their ladies. Oh, they lived in England about, 1,000 years ago. And that's what they call themselves, the Knights of the Round Table. Well, the knights were so brave and so noble and so chivalrous. I used to love to have my ma read to me about them from her books. My ma was a school teacher. Did you know that?
Miss Lottie, whatever happened to your ma?
Well, they say she died of the fever, but that's not true. She died of overwork. She did all the plowing and everything. Pa used to say that it was a woman's job to keep busy while a man went out looking for something to eat. It was usually liquor he went looking for.
Ma'am, from now on out, things are going to be a lot easier and a lot nicer for you.
I used to have all these silly dreams of being swept off my feet by some beautiful young romantic man that come riding out of the West. But now I'm going to marry a man that I only got some letters from. A man that I've never even seen or met.
Dadgummit.
We have a poem about this. Would you like to hear it? My house is constructed of natural soil. The walls are erected according to Hoyle. The roof has no pitch, but it's level and plain. And I never get wet until it happens to rain. Good night, Hoss.
Good night, Miss Lottie.
Oh, young Lochinvar, he came out of the West. Through all the wide border, his steed was the best. And save his good broadsword, he weapon had none. He rode all unarmed, and he rode alone. But ere he alighted by Netherby gate, the bride had consented, the gallant came late. For a laggard in love and a wastrel in war was to wed the fair Ellen instead of brave Lochinvar.
It's right pretty, ma'am. Sure like to hear you read it, too.
Thank you. Hoss,
Mm-hmm.
is Mr. Prescott anything like you?
I reckon he is, and he ain't. I'll tell you this. He's a fine gentleman. And he'll treat you with all the respect and honor that you deserve.
Well, does he look anything like you?
Mr. Prescott? No. Think you're lucky stars for that, too. No, compared to me, Mr. Prescott's a real fine, handsome gentleman. I reckon most fellers are compared to me, though.
I wouldn't say that. I think you're one of the nicest looking men I've ever seen.
Howdy. Howdy. I ran out of food a ways back, and your coffee smells mighty good. Thought you might spare a cup.
You bet your boots. Come right on.
Howdy, man.
Plenty of coffee there. You just help yourself. Might even have a bean or two. You hungry?
What's in here? What do you got there?
You need my books.
You little wild cat.
What's the matter? Is she too much for you?
Leave me alone, you big brute.
Well, I guess that got rid of them.
That was wonderful, Hoss.
What?
Protecting me when it could have cost your life.
Them two skunks. Cowards are all alike. Anybody could have done it.
Oh, not just anybody, Hoss. Not the way you did it.
You better get some sleep. I want you nice and fresh and pretty tomorrow when we get to Mr. Prescott's ranch. Wait till you see that ranch house.
Good night, Hoss.
Good night, ma'am. I'll make you a pallet out of some nice soft pine needles and leaves. And I think I'll spend the rest of the night over there by that campfire in case those two skunks decide to come back.
Boys, what are you doing here so early? Charlie, take the horses. You know, the wedding ain't until tonight.
Oh, we just thought we'd come along and see if we can give an old bachelor like you a hand, Walter. But I see a couple of other people had the same idea.
Yeah, and I sure appreciate it.
Besides, we wanted to see what the bride looks like.
So do I, Adam. So do I.
Well, we came to do some work. Let's go.
It's a very good idea. I think I'll check the punch, make sure it's all right.
Help yourself. You know something, Ben? What? I'm as nervous as a calf in a bullpen. Well, here I am. I'm not getting any younger. But I feel like a youngster about to take a girl out for the first time.
Walter, you know something? I'll bet you that bride-to-be of yours is more nervous than you are right now.
Here. Put that around your neck and it'll keep you cool.
Hoss, you are so downright chivalrous, you're gonna spoil me for good. Here, this is finished.
Oh, good.
Good as new.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, I guess you're gonna want to be going.
Yeah. Miss Lottie. Ain't you gonna dress?
Well, I am dressed.
Well, I mean, knowing the new stuff that we bought back down the way.
Oh, I'm gonna save those for the wedding.
Miss Lottie.
What?
Ma'am, don't you want to look nice and fresh and pretty for meeting Mr. Prescott the first time?
Hoss? Hoss?
Wow.
What do you think, Hoss? Do you think the folks at Mr. Prescott's will be pleased?
They sure will, Miss Lottie. They sure will.
Are you pleased with me, Hoss?
Ma'am, I think you're just plain, plumb, downright beautiful. And I think Mr. Prescott's a mighty lucky man. Come on.
Hey, folks, why don't you rest yourself a spell? Some fresh sandwiches here and cold beer.
Walter, why don't you rest yourself a spell now? Come on, sit down now. You're the bride-to-be. How about a beer for a bridegroom-to-be? Hey, here they come.
Ben, I'm nervous as a leaf in a windstorm.
Oh. Hi, Hoss. What you got here? Hi, Joe. Fine, Adam. Mr. Prescott, here's your bride.
Oh, Walter, aren't you? You gonna say howdy?
Yeah. All safe and sound, just like I promised. Lottie, this here's Mr. Prescott.
Welcome to your new home, Lottie.
Thank you.
Mr. Prescott, if I'd known your new bride was this beautiful, I would have gotten her myself.
I believe I would have, too.
Oh, Lottie, this is Mr. Cartwright, Hoss's father. And his other two sons, little Joe.
Pam?
And Adam. Lottie. And all these people are our wedding guests. Now, I know you must be tired, so I'll have Francesca show you her room. Francesca? Francesca!
Si, senor.
Oh, show my bride to her room and see that she gets anything she needs. The wedding's going to be tonight, so it'll give you a chance to rest up for a spell.
Come on with me, señorita. Please, come. Señorita.
Congratulations, Mr. Prescott. You're a lucky man.
Thank you, little Joe. Ben, what do you think of her?
Well, the important thing, Walter, is what do you think of her?
I think she's wonderful.
Yeah?
Hoss, I got to thank you. I'm going to be indebted to you for the rest of my life.
Forget it, Mr. Prescott. Like I told you, that's the least a friend can do.
Well, if you gentlemen will excuse me, I'm going to go in and do a little talking in the future, Mr. Prescott, and may get to know her right beforehand.
She's certainly pretty, but a little younger than I thought she'd be.
We need something to eat.
What'd you two talk about on the trail?
Something uplifting, I hope.
Lots of things.
Yeah, lots of things. Like what?
Like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Lots of things.
King Arthur?
Oh, come on, you're joshing me. King Arthur. Hey, Adam, we've been making a big mistake. We ought to call him Sir Hoss.
Sir Hoss, thou good and noble knight, I didst not know thou possessed charms to melt the heart of yon fair damsel who did dwell in the wilderness.
Sir Hoss, knightest of the chuck wagonist.
Hey, here comes Walter. I propose a toast to the new and happy groom. Here. Mr. Prescott, here's to your wedding.
I ought to kill you, Hoss. I ought to kill you right where you stand.
Mr. Prescott, what'd I do?
You know darn well what you did. Now get off my property.
Walter, wait a minute. What happened?
Maybe you ought to ask your son what happened. He knows. He knows what went on between them on the trail.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My good friend, I trusted you like I would my own son. You played me for a fool.
That ain't true, Mr. Prescott.
Why won't she marry me then?
I don't know, but you gotta believe me.
You get out of here.
The lot of you. Get out of here. Mr. Prescott. Let me go up and talk to her. Just let me go up and
You
talk
stay
to her.
away from her, Hoss. So help me God, if I ever catch you going near her again, I'll shoot you on sight.
Boy, I don't know what he's talking about. I swear I don't. Come on. Come on.
Hoss! Take me with you. Don't leave me here.
Hoss, let's get home. There's nothing but trouble here.
Eat up. Look at it this way. This little gal's lived on that farm all alone for all these years. I go up there and I get her. Bring her down here and drop her down right smack dab in the middle of a bunch of strangers to get married to a man she ain't never seen before in her life. Scare anybody, much less a little gal like her.
Well, it makes sense. Doesn't change the fact that Prescott wants to kill you.
Aye, he's jumping to conclusions. Ain't nothing wrong with that little gal except she's scared, that's all.
Maybe she's in love with you.
In love with me? It's the biggest bunch of nonsense I ever heard.
Well, I don't think it's nonsense. Why would she ask you to take her with you?
You know, Adam could be right. She might be in love with you.
Bartender, bring us a couple of beers.
Hold up.
Good morning, Mr. Prescott.
Morning, Henry. Sure you won't change your mind, Lottie?
No. I'm sorry.
Henry, take her bag, see that she gets a nice room, and send the bill to me.
I'll pay you back as soon as I get myself a job, Mr. Prescott.
Yeah.
Come on, Dick. Don?
Alan? I've known Horse Cartwright for more years than you can count. I always figured him as a man that could be trusted. I never thought he'd do a thing like this to me.
Walter, it's just hard for me to believe that Hoss would two-time a man that way.
What are you calling me, Thompson, a liar? I say Horse Cartwright deliberately cut me with that girl. I say he's a skunk who can't be trusted.
All right, Walter, have it your way, but I know the Cartwrights, and they ain't built that way.
Hi, Charlie.
Hoss Cartwright just rode up to the hotel.
Walter? Walter? No. Steals a horse, you put a bounty on his head. Why shouldn't it be the same for a man who steals your wife?
Well, Walter, you don't mean that. Putting a bounty on Horse Cartwright?
Why shouldn't I? Horse Cartwright stole my wife, didn't he? We've all paid up to $1,000 for a horse thief. I'd say a wife stealer is just about 3 times as bad.
I'd suggest you go on home and forget it, Walter. Wild talk like that's no good. Some darn fool might take you up on it.
Maybe if he did, he might not be such a darn fool as you think.
Let's go find us some horses and guns.
Ma'am, what I was trying to tell you back downstairs there was...
Yes?
Well, ma'am, Well, about me being in love with you.
Oh, Hoss, you don't have to say it. I believe you. And it's just about the nicest thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life. Being loved by a man like you.
Doggone it, Miss Lottie, you don't hardly even know me. I mean, well, not really you don't. I'm mean, vicious. I'd be so dead burn ornery, I'd make any woman miserable.
You would?
Yeah. I got a real bad streak in me.
You have?
Yeah, well, compared to me, why, Mr. Prescott's a real fine gentleman. Leastwise he was till he thought I crossed him up. You'd be doing yourself a big favor by forgetting me and marrying him.
Hoss, I know what you're trying to do.
You do?
Yes, and I admire you for it.
Well, I just wanted to be fair to you and Mr. Prescott, that's all.
You are, without a doubt, the most honorable man I ever met. Willing to sacrifice our love so as not to be accused of betraying a friend's trust.
Huh?
You know, I think that's why I fell in love with you. You know, you're just like one of the knights of the round table that I used to dream about. I mean, you're kind and courteous and gentle and brave. I used to think that to meet a man like you was just a silly dream of a lonely, young, romantic girl. But now it's come true.
Miss Lottie, you gotta forget about me. You gotta quit thinking things like that.
Well, you're just trying to sacrifice yourself and our happiness because of Mr. Prescott. Well, I won't let you do it.
Lottie, I ain't trying to sacrifice nothing. What I'm trying to do is...
Well, Hoss, I understand your feelings and I respect them. But a very wise poet once said that I could not love thee, dear, so much. Loved I not honor more.
Miss Lottie...
No, I won't permit it. Now, I know it'll take some time for Mr. Prescott to get over his anger, but he will. We must be patient and wait. And meanwhile, we can still see each other. Secretly, if we have to. Hoss, if I ever needed any proof of your love, you just gave it to me.
Austin, was that shot aimed at you?
I dang fine old Roy.
Now, why in the world anybody want to kill you?
I don't know.
Why don't you ask Prescott?
Wait a minute. Are you saying that Walter Prescott took a shot at Hoss here?
Well, not exactly. But just a little while ago, over in the saloon, he said it'd be worth $3,000 to him to see that Hoss was taken care of.
You mean Walter Prescott offered a bounty? Hired a man to kill me? I don't believe it.
Sounded like it to me.
He couldn't have been serious.
Well, maybe he wasn't. It looks like someone's taking him for serious.
What happened?
Somebody just took a shot at Mr. Cartwright.
Hoss, he said that someone took a shot at
Miss
you. Are
Lottie,
you
Miss
all
Lottie,
right?
everything's all right.
What?
You're going back up. Everything will be all right, I promise. I'll see you, Roy.
Hoss, Dick, I'll see you later, huh? Thanks. I want you to do something for me. I want you to get out of this town and get out fast. Go home. Because that bushwhacker is just itching to get another chance at you.
Roy, if there's a man looking...
Now, do as I ask, will you? Look, here's your horse. Now, make my job easier for me, will you? Not tougher.
All right. But I still can't believe that Walter put a bounty on me. I just can't believe that.
Good luck.
Sheriff, is there anything I can do?
No, there's nothing that you can do.
Sheriff, this is all my fault, isn't it? Someone took a shot at Hoss because of me.
I didn't say that. But since you're asking, Walter Prescott and the Cartwrights were pretty good friends before you come to town. Now you got two families at each other's throats. And Hoss Cartwright's got a pretty good chance of getting murdered.
Have you talked to her? Why didn't you tell her what you were supposed to?
Doggone it, Paul. I just couldn't. I couldn't hurt that little gal, Paul. Poor little old thing's got a head chock full of dreams. She's got me pegged for one of them nights of the round table. I don't want any cracks.
Hey, did I say anything? Adam, did I say anything at all?
Boss, I can understand you not wanting to hurt the little girl's feelings, but sooner or later you're going to have to tell her the truth. There's no telling what Walter'll do.
He's already done it.
What's he done?
Nothing. I can't talk to that little gal, but Dad burn it, I can talk to Walter Prescott. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna straighten this out with him once and for all.
What are you doing here?
I want to talk to you.
We don't have anything to talk about.
I came to ask if your offer of marriage still holds good.
Why? Why do you want to know?
I'm ready to marry you, if you still want me.
What did you say?
I've been thinking things over, and I'm ready to go through with our bargain.
I see. Sit down. So I'll be able to sit down, too. It gets mighty wearing leaning on this too long. What made you change your mind, Lottie?
I found out I was wrong about Hoss.
What happened between you and him on the trail?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Not nothing. You expect me to believe that? How'd he act toward you?
He was very polite and very gentlemanly, but that's all that it was.
Are you trying to tell me you're not in love with him anymore? What happened, Lottie? Didn't he ask to marry you?
Well, of course he did, but I was the one who changed my mind. What difference does it make, Mr. Prescott? I'm here. Isn't that enough?
It sure is. You did the right thing, Lottie. You know I'm going to make you the happiest girl in the world. And I'll give you anything you want. All you have to do is ask me.
Thank you, Mr. Prescott.
Lottie, will you be happy with me?
Of course I will. Why else would I be talking like this?
You're not a very good liar, are you?
Liar?
Yes. You knew about the bounty I put on his head.
There was some careless talk about it.
You're still in love with him, aren't you?
Why, Mr. Prescott, I told you. I came here to marry you.
A woman doesn't come to ask a man to marry him with tears in his eyes. Not if she's happy about it.
the house.
But you gotta help him!
Go on down in the barn and get up in the loft.
I thought you wanted me killed.
I did. Until Lottie came here a little while ago and offered to marry me.
You did?
And you know why? To save your life. You're a lucky young man. I guess it's true, isn't it? There's no fool like an old fool. Horse, take good care of us, son.
Oh, he will, Mr. Prescott. I know he will. Oh, everything's gonna be all right now. Isn't it wonderful, Hoss?
Yeah, I reckon it is.
There for a while, I thought the whole world was against us, but now all of a sudden everything's working out, just like in the storybooks. Oh, Hoss, I'm so happy. We can be married now.
Miss Lottie, come over here and sit down.
Yes, Hoss.
Ma'am. Since the first time I met you, I've thought that you were a wonderful person.
Well, yes, Hoss, I know that. I guess that's why it was so easy for me to fall in love with you.
Ma'am, when two people like you and me like each other a great deal, they don't want to hurt each other, do they? I mean, they don't want to rush into anything. What I mean is...
Two people who like each other? We love each other. We do love each other, don't we, Hoss?
Ma'am, like I said, of all the girls I've met, you're the nicest, sweetest. But, ma'am, I don't know how I feel. Maybe if I had a little more time, maybe I could learn
No,
to...
please don't say anymore, Hoss. I thought I was so smart. I thought all those sweet and wonderful things you said and did while we were on the trail, I thought you meant those for yourself. But you meant it for Mr. Prescott, didn't you?
I didn't want to hurt you, Lottie.
I know. You're too kind and gentle to hurt anybody.
What are you going to do now?
I don't know. I think I'll go someplace and try to find myself a job someplace.
You reckon you'll be all right?
Yes, I'll be all right. Because, you see, I'm not going to believe in those silly dreams anymore. About knights in shining armor. I know they don't really exist. Except for maybe one. Goodbye, Hoss.